Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be talking about normalizing versus mastering in Logic Pro. This is something that I really did not understand when I was first bouncing projects. So when I first started bouncing projects, I thought that you just have the normalize button on and boom, the project's done. That's not the case. What normalizing does is it brings every audio level up to an optimal level for listening. But it doesn't master it to the point where it's going to get it to where you would want an audience to listen to your song. So basically, platforms like Apple Music and Spotify, you want your masters to be around -14 LUFS. Nowadays, it's actually more like -8 or -9, which I shoot for around -10 because I feel like that's just a good happy medium for that. But that is the loudness, the perceived loudness that you want your listeners to hear for your music. Normalizing, all that does to me is brings everything up to an acceptable level, but it's not the optimal level, if that makes sense. What I use normalizing for is bouncing projects when I want to listen back to them. It's very easy to just click the normalize on button when you're bouncing the project, and then you can go in the car and listen to it. Now, if you're just doing things for YouTube and you just want to get content out there really quickly, I think normalizing is a good option to get stuff onto YouTube and have it be at a good level and not be so quiet. It's very important, especially like even this video right now that you're listening to. I have, because you're listening to it, mastered this audio to make it loud so that it's more suitable for you to listen to. Because ordinarily, this would be a very quiet conversation had I not. So let's jump into Logic, and I'm just going to show you the key differences between the two things. Okay, so we are in Logic right now, and what we're going to do is we are going to bounce this finished project, and this is mastered. So you can see down here I have my master right here, and I have these plugins that are really bringing up the volume or the loudness really. So I'm pushing this quite a bit with a limiter, and that's really going to give you the loudness. Now when you bounce this, and by the way, Logic has the adaptive limiter. Just use that. You don't need any crazy limiter. That's a good limiter in and of itself. But let's say that we did Command B and we were going to bounce the project. Normally, no pun intended, there's the normalize setting right here. And this is going to be on most likely. You need to turn this off if you're mastering the project. If you leave it on, it's still going to make it quiet. It's going to bring it up to what they think the optimal level is for each audio to bring everything up, really. So you're going to turn this off so that this is really engaged here. This is what we're going to be hearing, the master as opposed to the normalization. Now let's say you just wanted to normalize the project. You would bounce the project, and normally these are going to be unfinished projects. You don't finish something or a song in particular. Maybe if it's a YouTube content, like I said, it's different, but you're not going to have a finished product be normalized. That's not, that's not it. Again, just to reiterate, the finished product is the master. So what you're going to do here is you're going to go Command B again, and you're going to have normalize on. And just for the exporting, whatever, this is what I have for the settings. And a lot of people go higher on the sample rate. Kind of not necessary, considering the fact that all the platforms like Spotify are going to knock it down to this anyway. So that's really not that important. But the 24-bit versus 16-bit, that is important because that's going to get you a better resolution. And they do still knock it down, but you're going to get a better resolution, a better sound from 24-bit than 16. So keep it on 24-bit, and I bounce as a WAV file because that's just the best file that you can bounce it as. And you are going to have this, again, if it's normalized, you're going to keep this on, and that's going to bring everything up to an optimal level for you to listen back. But again, this is the main difference between normalizing and mastering a project. Mastering a project is really going in and bringing everything up, making these subtle loudness enhancements, and then you're adding a limiter and you're really bringing everything up to make it louder. And that's going to get you to the point where you're going to be able to listen back and have it be at a professional loudness point. So let me turn the limiter on and I'll show you where we're at in terms of the loudness.
You're playing games with my heart now. Said you left for some dude, but I'm older and wise now and understand you're true.
Okay, so as you can tell, that's roughly where I want it to be, because I've spent quite a bit of time with this particular project to get it there, and you know, that way I can put it on Spotify, which I eventually will, and we're gonna have a song that's listenable and it's gonna be professional sounding. It's not gonna be quiet. People aren't gonna have to crank their volume just to listen to the song. So that's very, very important. So we're going to keep this video very short. It's very simple. I just wanted to explain the difference because I personally had no clue, because I was just getting into Logic. I didn't know really even how to bounce projects, but more specifically what I was supposed to do to bring everything up and make it professional, because that's what really got me into mixing. Was me and my brother were like rapping and stuff, and we would make songs and they were just so shitty sounding, and I'd listen to other songs and I'd think to myself, how can I make this better? How can I make it more professional? And that's what really got me into asking those sorts of questions, to really bring everything up and make things more professional. So I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.